This is Joycey.
And Blake.
And welcome to Savagely Scaled. In this episode, we are talking about something every CrossFit gym has, but nobody really teaches. The unwritten rules of gym etiquette. So not necessarily the rules on the wall, but the stuff that makes a class run smoothly, keeps people safe, and honestly just helps people not become that member everybody talks about after class. We've all seen some wild things in the gym, so today we're breaking it all down. So let's get to it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I know that we've done this episode before. I think it's going to be a refresher for people who are just joining us and just kind of going more into it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we all need a reminder sometimes. The golden rule that I like to go by of everything is, of course, the gym etiquette, but it's don't be a jerk.
Yes, that's the theme.
Right? We honestly, most gym etiquette comes down to one thing, respect. And that's respect for the coach, respect for the space, respect the equipment, and respect the people around you. Now, you would think that would be given, but I feel like CrossFit gym etiquette is completely different from our Globo gym etiquette. Because
True.
Those are not like, yes, you have to spray stuff down. And I feel like only really good people do that because they hope that the person before them did it.
I've been guilty of not. I'm not going to lie.
But I feel like the respect for certain things is more instilled in humans who've been taught that. But when you go to like those Globo gyms, I've seen people who really don't care to put the towel back where it needs to go because they're like, somebody's going to clean up after me, or, oh, I don't need to spray it down because the machine across the way just opened up and I better get there before it actually gets there. Like so many things. But CrossFit is different than those normal gyms because we're sharing space constantly.
True.
You know, you're suffering together, moving together, sweating together, and surviving workouts together compared to you don't know the last person who was on a treadmill. Though I will say, like, when I went to a 24-hour fitness, there was lulls between certain times.
Was 24-hour fitness the gym you used to, the Globo gym you used to?
Yeah.
Me too. Got the special at Costco for 2 years, I think it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did too. I also went to a Gold's gym, but it had a CrossFit in it, and that's how I started CrossFit. But yeah, I went to a 24-hour fitness, and there'd be times when all the machines were filled, and you would hope that people would spray it down, or there'd be times where it'd be dead and you don't know if somebody cleaned it compared to you look around in CrossFit and can see everybody in your class, and the coach says it too. Even for the new members, we go over it on 101 too, like, and then you spray your stuff down when you're done, and it's, you know, helps to prevent the germs and the sweat that we're sweating, and just helps to keep everything clean.
True.
Compared to like 24-hour fitness, I knew some people would be like, oh, people would clean it. They have a cleaner. I was like,
that's
they don't
crazy.
clean everything.
Yeah,
they have to clean the floors.
Like, if you're dripping in sweat and you obviously see the drips and you don't decide to clean that, like, that drives me bonkers. Because I'm like, people lay and stretch on there.
Right?
Yeah.
And
There's
I feel
children
like
here.
Yeah. And I feel like CrossFit gyms, or at least ours, like with newcomers, like we do have that approach, like even if they don't remember, because remember like your first week getting into class, you're like a baby doe who's just like, oh yeah, they taught me this in 101 and now
I forgot.
What are we doing? Yeah. So you see everybody do it, but another good standing would be, if we're, you know, being respectful of others, is be approachable to that new member and be like, hey, oh yeah, the spray bottles are over there. Like if you see the coach doing it, the coach should do it and be like, hey, this is what we do. But I know like some gym members, it's good to also teach the newer members of, oh yeah, we spray them. Oh yeah, like this is where we put them away. This is where we put our clips, and like the 5s go here, the 2.5s go here, because we rather, like, we see everything with our eyes first.
Right.
So when you go into a gym, if you see a gym that's clean or put together, you'd be like, oh, they have their
That's
shit
nice.
together. I'm gonna like it here. So if we teach each other how to do it, I feel like just don't just be more welcoming to it.
Something I do love and appreciate too is when another member just cleans your barbell for you or offers to clean it, and you're just like, thank you. So sometimes I try to do that back if I can, and I'm like, I already have the spray bottle, I got it, it's all good. So I think that's another way to do that.
There's times when I was like, hey, help your friend out, help put weights away because you might need help one day.
That's something nobody cleans is the weights. I'm like, I never thought about that,
But even like helping them put away, because when we have like back squats, we have people of all ages, all sizes, all different types of members, beginners, intermediate, advanced. So the weight's different. So somebody might just have 10s on compared to people having like 345s on. And I'm like, hey, just help each other out and we can get class flowing again. I know, like, I try to help. Or there's those things where I'm like, oh, I sprayed down all your stuff. Because you guys were already done with the rowers. Like, no need to have it sit out if I can help too.
True.
So I feel with that first one.
Nice. That's a pretty solid one. For a second one, I think this one's a big pain point, I would assume mostly for our coaches. But showing up on time is a super big one. Usually if the class starts at 5:30, showing up at 5:42, is kind of a little criminal, we would say. Being able to like show up on time is a big, also, I guess, way to kind of protect the safety of yourself and the other members. I think one of the biggest things that comes to mind for me is I did come late. I think it was last week. I personally like to text the coach if I know who the coach is going to be and let them know like, hey, I'm going to be running late, so I'm going to just jump in when I can. But something I feel like I lost because I showed up late was the warm up and the stretching, and kind of just jumping into the workout did feel very different. And I wish, had I showed up on time, I would have not missed that, and I would have felt more prepared for that workout. So I feel like in showing up late, you kind of miss out on, I guess, the impact of what the workout can be for you. And it helps prevent injuries overall, which is a very big part. So that's kind of the biggest thing that comes to mind. But it's also just respectful for the rest of the group who also, made the time to be there on time. So
yeah, I do like if members are like, hey, I might be a couple minutes late, because I have gotten texts who are like, oh, I'm going to be about 15 minutes late. I'm like, oh, no. Like, we've already done the warm up. We're already getting into our first stimulus. There's no way that you're going to do stretching and then going to squat. There's just, and it's a hard talk for some people. Yeah. I'm like, I love that you told me that you're going to be late, but that's way too late. And it's being prepared for that as well. Yeah. And I know that you guys want to do the class and are like, oh, well, now I have to wait an hour. And it's like, well, I didn't also make you that late. Nobody here did. I can only help you so far, and it is like, I would love to, say that there's been times that I've done that. There's times like when I'm coaching, like me and Dave on Tuesdays, we tag team Tuesdays at 4:30 because of where my kid goes dancing and where he has Bible study. Like, we have to do that. So I know for some members that might be irritating too. And I try to like front load, hey, this is what happens on Tuesday for now. It's got to change. But for now, this is how our schedule works. But that doesn't give you the right to be like, okay, well, I'm going to be 15 or 20 minutes late because Blake is, 10 minutes late. And technically I'm not. It's covered. Right. Everything's being done that should be done. So it is. And then you're missing out on the whiteboard briefing, which is what us as coaches, we literally tell you, we read what's on the board. But for me, and I know all of our coaches usually do a little briefing of each one and what the stimulus should be. And what we're looking for, if we're looking for something unbroken, because we usually have a weight. Like today we had squat cleans and it was okay to do fast singles, and that weight that we had, there's some that I'm like, okay, pick a weight. If this is not your weight, you need to pick a weight that you can do unbroken. So then I know down the road we forget what the coach says, and you say, is this supposed to be unbroken? I get that. But when you have, if 12 people are there and I have 2 people asking the same question, that's okay. But if 5 people came late and they didn't know that had to be unbroken, and they're like, well, I put the RX weight on. Oh, well, it has to be unbroken. Well, you didn't tell me that. Well, you weren't here for the briefing, or I would have told you. I'm okay with questions. Yeah. But if you're here for the briefing, we should kind of start to understand what we need. True. And if you're not, then you have no idea. You don't know like what needs to be unbroken, what can be broken up, what's a safe weight for you. So it's always good to have that, and kind of listening during the briefing. Lord knows that I'm also, when I go into athlete mode, I can be that. I could be talking to my friends during it and all that stuff and forgetting and be like, hey, what are we supposed to be doing again? Yeah. But we try to not. And the thing is, like, athletes, I mean, we do have a discussion on here, and I think that's funny. Like, athletes tying their shoe, are they paying attention? And some are, some aren't. Like, you do have to safety first, but walking in during the explanation and then asking what
or someone else, like, it kind of takes away from their experience.
It does. Like, as soon as somebody walks in, I get like kind of whispering, like, hey, what are we supposed to be doing for warm up? But if your coach is talking about the workout, wait to whisper to your friend afterwards, because now your friend just didn't hear the last portion. Missing movement standards and then asking mid-WOD, I'm still okay with people asking, but if I literally went over it right before I'm saying, is everybody ready? And then you forget, Coach Blake might throw you a look. Like, I did just say that, but Coach Blake sometimes forgets too how to use words. So there's just some things.
We've all been victims of the Blake whip.
Where I'm like, I just always
imagine like the sound of a whip behind you, like every time you turn, and I'm like, oh my god, what is it? Is it my toes?
Yeah. We've all done these things. I've done these things, and I've had to learn. My learning was being yelled at.
Same.
And it's not like a mean yell at, like, oh my god, you're so stupid, why are you doing, like, hey man, don't do that.
Right. It was more like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah. And it's more of like, oh, that's right, oh my gosh, like a wake-up call. It's not mean yelling. It's just like, you could get seriously hurt. How am I supposed to be like, oh hey, by the way, don't do that again, you can hurt somebody, So just be aware, like, if your coach gives you like kind of specified things for other people around you safety, try and listen and remember that. Going back to, we talked about the sweat factor. I'm a really big sweater.
And I could be sometimes.
You're not as much.
Not as much as other people, but
yes. I feel like I'm a really bad sweater.
I'm not a dripper though, but I do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes a lot for me to drip. But I will say I'm a really big sweater. But it does take, like, I have to be in upside down.
She's a cashmere.
Yeah.
Cashmere sweater.
But remember, your sweat shouldn't become someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's not...
Dude, and one of the biggest things that I freak out about is, like, if somebody is sick and then they don't clean, like, and then we get sick too, like, that's just dangerous. It sets a bad, dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
For sure.
It does. So, like, going back to, like, wiping bars down, putting your equipment away, don't leave
puddles of sweat.
Puddles of sweat. Bike. But it's also, like, going into the other cleaning of, like, don't leave your plates away or your plates in a pile. Just be like, oh, peace out. You guys got my stuff. And I should, for all of these segments that we have, like, put an asterisk.
Little disclaimer.
Now, there's people who, like, have work and they've literally told me, like, hey, I have to leave by this time. Is it okay? I'll put my stuff away. And me, I will tell them, I'll put your weight away, because I also don't like people cleaning mid
workout.
Yeah. Like,
you want them to do the best in their workout and enjoy it and do as much as they can.
And then everybody else who's like, oh, should I have finished that fast? And it's like, oh, they had work right at 5:30, so this is the only time they could work out.
Right.
So they're good.
Right.
I don't want, like, people who feel also like, oh, am I going too slow? People are finishing, like, they're already... It's a whole mindset. So I tend to squash that and be like, yeah, I got you. And don't worry about your stuff. Just leave it there.
Yeah.
Because also, if you're trying to put your stuff away and people are lifting around you, like, that's not okay. So
it could be dangerous.
I try to just be like, okay,
that's sweet.
Let's just do this. The other thing that I have, like, an issue with is the chalk buckets.
Yeah, that one drives me nuts.
I do like our chalk buckets, but I have been to other gyms where people just, like, carry it and it breaks as they go. Yes. then they'll do the big, huge clouds.
Or the claps.
Yes, they like to paint with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. We do have some friendly gym competitions, or not competitions, but gym flow where people get chalk and if you're wearing a black t-shirt, are like, hey man, what's up? And now you got a white hand on the back of you. Like, I'm okay with that.
It's playful, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not okay if you're going to be putting chalk on in front of a fan.
You're like, magic trick.
Yahoo! I'm like, are you for real? Because that takes forever to get out of the...
Yeah, or they just don't clean it after they finish the workout and there's like hand marks all over the floor. And I'm
yeah. It's on the floor. The chalk, it likes to stay. It gets stuck the more you put on. I mean, we were just talking with Billy about it. Yeah. The more chalk, the better performance. And I said, the more chalk all over you, the better you look, though, doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Get some pixie dust going. That's so
there's things like that. But yeah, probably don't walk around with it for it to fall apart and people are walking in it, and maybe not put it on our hands in front of a fan.
Yeah, probably not the best idea.
Yeah. There's times that I'm like...
It's got in my eye. Yeah. And then I'm like, what is that? It happens, man. It's not fun. And then try doing a workout with that feeling of having something in your eye. And you're like, I don't have time to rub it off. Gonna miss 20 seconds.
There's times though, I think I had just clapped. I had just put chalk on my hands, and then I was with Maggie watching Easton do something, and I started clapping, and she was right by me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot I just put chalk on my hand." This big, huge cloud.
Oh man, that's weird.
But remember with the whole, let's go back to the sweat. If you leave a bike looking like someone dumped a water bottle on it, you owe people an apology, okay? No.
Yeah, that one's, I'm like, I want to believe it's a splash of water.
I've never seen that. I've seen more on boxes.
I've seen sprinkles of sweat though.
Yeah.
On stuff. Like
and
drips.
Everybody that I've seen do that always cleans up the floor.
Yeah,
or
everyone does.
For the equipment. I was like,
I don't think I've seen anyone who doesn't, but I have seen people drip and sweat, and I'm like, you better clean that.
You go to a 24-hour fitness, I bet you they didn't spray their stuff down. Gross. As Joycey said, she didn't.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty. There was one time I was like, I don't have time to clean the barbell. Bye.
Oh yeah, because you also, I remember at those 24 whatevers, like walking across the room to get the spray, and by the time I came back, somebody was already using the machine. I was like, did you?
Oh, that too. Somebody puts your barbell and you're like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, did you want me to spray that machine for you? Because I that's where I was. See my stuff right here. No, okay. Well, bye.
That has to be part of the etiquette too. I don't know if we talked about the being late, but also like, I guess the being too early. I'm like, cause sometimes I'm like, wait, I haven't finished cleaning or putting stuff away for you. Like, I got you, but
there are times so I guess it depends. Like if you have classes back to back, there have been times when I have been like, don't step over the line. They're still working out. Right. But if you're walking in there as they're, still working out and you're trying to find space, first off, they now have to worry about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And some of them might not and run into. And second of all, you're taking their time away and their experience away and rushing them. Mm-hmm. And they didn't rush you. If things are in late, like we have space to warm people up, and I make sure that you're starting at 5:30. There are times when people look and I was like, hey, they're going to be 2 minutes over. I can warm you up now. And they'll be like, we'll wait 2 minutes. Okay. True, yeah. It also depends how your class is flowing. Is everybody listening? Was everybody on time? Did they listen to the whiteboard? Again, I'm okay with questions. Mm-hmm. It's just if I told you like twice and then you ask the same question, I usually go back and go, what did I not communicate correctly? How can we fix that? Or how can I fix this for the next class? I like that. I feel like that is because it's give somebody the same respect that you would want is how I grew up. Like if somebody's disrespecting you, now this is toxic. If somebody's disrespecting you, then I should be able to disrespect you back. We shouldn't do that. But yeah, I grew up with treat others how you want to be treated. So yeah, if I'm going to be rude to you, I should expect that you're to be rude back.
Yeah. But you do a really good job, I guess Coach Jason and the people that coach the evening classes of saying like, okay, we're going to warm up over here while you guys are doing your thing. And then we'll switch kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
And I always front load them like, hey, we're behind. There's times when I was like, I I have 12 people and we had to do the back squats, and putting away weight took the most.
Long.
And even people helping took a long time. Like, I just can't speed people up and yell at them and be like, hey, can you run with 245s next time? Like, that's not okay. And I always try to help as well, like putting away weight or doing those things, because it's like I can't be the coach that's just going to stand there and not help you.
True.
And be like, I
appreciate that a lot.
I wonder why we're running late. Maybe because nobody's helping. Maybe because I wasn't helping.
She just stands there and watches.
Just watch you, like, do better.
And she looks at her clock on her watch, and then it's like, okay.
Do better next time, guys.
Ooh, this next one is a really good one. And I assume you experience this more than I do because I don't weightlift as much.
Oh, but yes.
It's the don't walk in front of lifts, right? I think this is a huge one that a lot of us do know and have been kind of taught very early on. It's one of the biggest unwritten rules. So walking in front of an athlete while they're snatching, cleaning, or doing any kind of lift, really carrying heavy weight, whether overhead or in any position, it's important to give that person space. We don't really know or can assume where that barbell is going to go. And if it lands on you, it's not going to be pretty.
No.
It's going to be very painful. And then much less if it's a child, then now that's just so much worse. And I think that as a gym, we are very respectful when it comes to that. Like, we do our best to, I've seen moms kind of be like, don't play over there, they're lifting, and kind of setting that rule for their kids. But also, I love it when I see, especially when we're doing something heavy like a back squat, when someone's like going to grab weight and then they just stop, pause, look at the person do the lift, and they're like, oh, good job. And then they keep going. I think that's the best practice you can possibly do when you ever encounter that situation. But we've had a few instances where that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it with adults as much, but
yeah, no, it's more like a lot of us that transferred over to lifting have kids, and we have kids with us.
Right.
So it was a lot of learning and yelling at the kids. Simmons does have like a yellow tape caution thing, which is really cool. He also put tape on. So then, like,
is that what that was for?
Yeah, we have like a little one.
I seen it. Yeah. I was like, why did he get that?
It's also for other classes, because let's face it, you don't know when the lifters are going to bin. Like, we don't tell you guys a set time. So when you guys grab wall balls, when you guys grab kettlebells, when you grab, like, you're going into the lifting area. And sometimes it's more, to me, for Fridays is very busy. Like, really? Yes. When we do heavy Fridays, I haven't been to one in a while because just I work on Fridays. If I come to work on at 2, I'd rather just lift at 2 and then do my coaching hours. That's fair. But we would have like 5 or 6 of us lifting. Then you have the kids getting ready for kids class. Now, I know Dave's class today was 12 kids.
Oh my gosh.
You know, then you have like sweat, and the sweat ladies are awesome, but sometimes we just get into like, okay, I got to grab my stuff. And so we have those precautions up, because if you walk behind people who miss in the back, and that means like you're walking behind them, they just did a snatch and they pulled it so fast and had it fall backwards, it's gonna fall on you. And you can only tell people so much. Yeah. Like, hey, wait, when they're like, hey, I'm also in an hour class, I need to get, done, because this has to be on time. There's so many things going on that we're all looking out for each other. And I think having those precautions is actually very well, but for me, it's more for the kids too. When you have 12 kids waiting for class and there's a class going on or something, like, they only have a small area to just like hang out in, and kids are going to be kids. They're going to like want, ooh, look what's over there. Oh, what's over here? And then they play tag. And then even though you said don't cross that line, they're going to cross the line because they're not looking at that line. I'm glad that we have the outside area for them too, but that precaution of like that orange tape or yellow tape is really nice, because I
haven't seen it in action, but it's a cool concept.
It's a really nice concept, and I think I've only been there when it's been used once or twice, and it was just because there was tons of people.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I've never seen it used for when there's just like 2 of us lifting like over there.
And I don't think I've seen it.
You can't pass.
You shall not pass.
So I like it.
Cool.
To jump onto the kids one, yes, I've had to teach my kids, like, you only stay over there, especially if it's full, wait for me to come to you, because like back in the day, Harper almost got squished, and I know Simmons like had pulled her away, and she didn't like people when she was younger. So he just like picked her up, and he was like, "You almost crushed your kid." I was like, "I've already told her 3 times to sit down, so maybe she'll learn by crushing her toes."
Ouch.
Yeah, or when like kids run in, it was also like a learning experience for all of us moms. You know, to be like, okay, what's going to work? Where can they chill? What's going to happen? I believe it was just like a learning experience for everybody over there. But that's the same with CrossFit. Like we have a white line, and I tell the kids, like, you cannot cross that. And I'll tell the moms, like, I'm going to grab them if they cross it, because we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because now we have other adults who are like, now I have to worry about your kid running, even though like we're all glad that families are doing their thing.
Yeah.
But now all these adults have to worry if this kid's just going to run to you. There's things that I will do. Like I'll be like, okay, let's have a dance party while the workout's going on. And I'm coaching and be like, you're dancing over here for everybody. Or let's cheer, or let's play outside, or, you know, let's sit on the boxes and watch, because we're just going to do that. There's so many things that I try to do. And that's hard, because moms go to work out to better themselves, to not be called mom, to be called their name, to have their sense of worth and things like that. And I don't want to hear like a barbell's not going to do a sense of worth. Like going to the gym and being around other people who say, hey, Blake, what's up? Compared to, do you know how many times Blake gets called mom, 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 I need this, mom, I need that, mom, I need this, mom, I need that. It's a lot compared to if people are just like, hey, Blake, what's up? How was your day?
True.
You know,
1 hour of social time.
Yeah. Now for the adults, it is nice. It warms my heart when I do see you guys stop and don't walk behind somebody. Our gym is pretty set up to where you guys are all in the rig farthest from our weights, so people can walk. Now, if we have to have more of those individual racks, then I'm always like, hey, be very, very mindful. If they're going for a lift, please, I know you need to get your weight, but wait over here, or just pause. There's times like when I've also, because some people just need it put to them real. And I was like, hey, if so-and-so bails out of that back squat and you're right behind them, it will hurt you. And guess what? Like, you could have stopped. You need to stop, or it's going to roll and it's going to hurt you. And you know, Joycey shouldn't worry if I'm behind her unless we're spotting, right? If I'm behind her and now she has to worry about not bailing, and then she hurts herself because she was trying so hard not to bail because I'm standing behind her, or I walk behind her. Or when you focus on a lift, and this is more for weightlifting, a lot of us have to like focus when we're going to lift something heavy. So if you run in front of us, for me, I have ADHD, so that my focus goes.
I get that.
I'm more of like a peripheral now. If I see fast movement in my peripheral, I'm like, what's that? Squirrel. Yeah. If you walk in front of me, yeah, I might miss the lift. I'm more of like peripheral. And if I hear things on the peripheral of me, then I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Or things like that. If it's in front of me, if you're just standing in front of me staring at me, it's not going to shake me.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you're just staring. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look past you, but
blurry person.
Yeah, I don't wear my glasses anyways.
That is so fascinating to me. So something that moves and something that's loud.
No, and that's just for certain people. Some people cannot lift with somebody right in front of them staring at them.
I'm gonna run by you and yell something loud at the same time. Hey, Blake.
Yeah. But it is knowing where you're at. Like, how is your gym set up? Like weightlifting? Are they
intermixed on the same side? Like,
do you have different times of days when that happens? But it's all this whole gym etiquette is more towards safety. Than anything, safety and respect. And if you're giving somebody respect for their lift, and you don't have to be like, well, she just makes me watch them. It's like, no, I'm just making that you're not in the danger zone.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, I don't know about you, but when I first joined CrossFit, I don't feel like I knew any of these rules whatsoever.
No, people don't really understand them. And they're like, why did you just make this rule up, Blake? And I was like, no, I learned from my old CrossFit gym, because we did have people who were like, hey, this did happen to me. Just don't walk behind them. I did a weightlifting class. We used to have a weightlifting class at night, like twice a week.
No.
Instead of a regular class, they would do a weightlifting one. And that guy like did competitions. I only did one class because I suck so much. So I don't want to hear, that's why she's good. No.
Little did you know you were going to be into weightlifting later.
But he was like, oh yeah, that's, safety, like running in front of somebody when they're focusing or behind them. Like people can miss behind them. People can, like me, if I miss in front and I throw the bar in front of me. Oh. So like, again, you got to be in a safety area.
Yeah, not the danger splash
No,
zone.
you don't want the danger zones.
That sounds so painful.
Yes, like we do damage enough when we hit ourselves with things. You don't want it behind.
That's so true.
Or when I'm like, they will hurt you.
I just can't imagine all that weight falling on a toe or something. Like, ouch.
Yeah. I just remember one class where I was like, I have given these people permission that if you walk behind them and they have to bell, they have to bell. And it's not their issue. It can lead to
injuries. You're right. If they're trying to hold it. That's that'd be so messed up.
So you might trust yourself, but you never trust a missed lift. You don't know where they're going. Yeah,
that's a good point, girl. Mm-hmm. I got the Blake stare.
I was like,
so what are we doing? This is a good one for you.
Remember where you're at. The next one I have is cheer for people.
This is so appropriate for Blake.
Community over competition, right? One of the coolest things in CrossFit is hearing people cheer for the last athlete. So for me, encouraging matters. I wouldn't say the best thing is cheering for the last athlete. I like to cheer for everybody.
Yeah.
I also try to make a point to say everybody's name and a good pointer, or that they did a good job, or, that's the lift. There was a lot today that I was like, that's the lift that, you need to remember, or how I said, like, you need to also encourage yourself in that. So I like to give, cues, but I like to encourage everybody in my class. And that's if I have 18 people or if I just have 2 people. And it's not me standing there every 2 minutes being like, go, Joycey. You got this, Joycey. Way to go. Come on.
You walk around.
Yeah, I walk around. I try to do things. And also in my head, if I say like the same encouragement, once I try to go through a whole different list. Like,
I like that.
If there's 6 people, I like to give them a different encouragement. Because I'm like, I don't want...
Mix it up.
Not that you're paying attention, but I don't want them to be like...
I do.
She just said that to 2 people before me. She's not even paying attention.
Yeah, that's what it would feel like. That's why I'm like, you actually do a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, I guess, as the person in class, sometimes when I don't get a shout out, I'm like, and everyone else does, I'm like, wait.
I try.
I'm like, am I doing a horrible job?
There's also times when I was like, oh, I can't do that for Joycey because they're going to think I'm just cheering for her because I like her.
Or then I'm also like, is it because I'm a veteran and you guys think I'm already okay? And that's why I don't get anything?
I can't always stay on this side. I gotta walk around. That's true. Just remember, support is forever. So like when you go to the other gyms, you don't have somebody behind the treadmill going, come on, Chad, you got it.
Go, that guy.
2 more miles, man. You got this.
I like to say girl, even though you're a guy or a girl.
Yeah. So many times. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Dennis.
When we were getting back from our trip, I was talking to Chris in the car because we were just gossiping to ourselves about how we felt about the weekend. We loved it. But I was like, right, girl? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, honey. I mean, right, man?
I'm so sorry, honey. That means you're in the inner circle.
Yeah. And he just looked at me like, girl. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Joycey usually does this.
I am a little contagious. People just start doing what I say or do.
I just remember standing there and Dennis just was like talking to you and you had called him girl 3 times. I was like, what's up, girl?
No way, girl.
I said, Dennis, did you even catch that she called you girl 3 times? And he's like, what? And
I was like, I don't think he noticed either.
No. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have said nothing.
No, that's on me. I use it all the time.
But yes, as a new member, it could be like, oh my gosh, these people are very loud and they're cheering for everybody. Some people really enjoyed that. Loud gyms are fun gyms. Now, that's not for everybody. I have had people say, hey, don't cheer for me. Duly noted. I won't. I will give you cues though. To me, cues are different from cheering or encouragement. Cues are, hey, get this, do this, like we need to be unbroken on that. Get the bar closer into your hip, jump straight up, you know. Cues are completely different from encouragement in my book. So if you don't want cues, let me know too. I am very open as a coach. Like if you don't like something, let me know. I'll fix it for our next visit.
That's true.
Yeah, I can only better myself. Now, if you're going to be like, hey, Blake, I don't like dancing. I don't like cheering. I don't like cues. I don't like this. I'm like, oh, you got to take a different class, man.
Why are you here? Oh, man, that's rough.
Yeah, or I'd be like, okay, well, personal training, we could do personal training.
That's what it's fair. I'm like, it's kind of like finding a therapist. You got to find the coach sometimes that
find
mixes
the right
with you.
flow. Yeah. All of us coaches are all completely different. And that's what I love. You can. And it doesn't hurt my feelings if somebody was like, man, I think Naja was talking to me and she's like, oh, I've done a couple noon classes with Chris and he's amazing at this. I was like, yeah, we all have like our own thing. And I was like, Chris can do this, but we all have like our different things, and you do like some days you're not gonna want what I'm giving you, and if you have the opportunity to be like, okay, I'm gonna try a morning class, or sometimes it's a nice surprise when you walk in and you're like, oh, usually Blake does, you know, Wednesdays. Oh, it's Andrew this week. You know, I've gotten that where people are like, oh, we thought you were doing it, but we can't Andrew, and I was like, yeah, Andrew's a pretty cool coach too, huh? It's nice.
It is,
we all do different things, and that's what you need. You need a mix-up. You don't always need Blake. You don't. Well, maybe the other coaches.
That's why I go to 4:30.
But there are things. Some people don't like loud gyms, and they do. They're like, oh, that hour. Also, it depends on what class you go to.
Yep.
5 a.m. is not like 4:30. And it's definitely not like 5. It's probably similar to 5:30 p.m.
Really?
To me. But still not like.
I heard they could be pretty pumped up at
5 a.m. is pretty cool. They're getting ready for their day. They're going to listen to the best of their abilities and they're going to get it done.
They're fresh.
Right? 5:30 p.m. are like, I got done with the day. I'm tired. I'm just as tired as 5 a.m., but I'm going down. Yep. So it's kind of similar with, we're not talking as much. We're trying to get to the point. People got dinner. People got this. True. Compared to you get 8 a.m. Noon's a whole different class too.
That's so true.
Noon's like the cousin that comes over that you're just like, oh yeah, we see cousin Sally every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So you also got to find your vibe that fits best with you.
Amen.
And the time. That's, and group. Celebrating PRs are every level. We want to celebrate your PRs. We have a bell. And I know a couple people where they're like, oh yeah, I did really good. Like, go ring that bell.
Yeah, I forget about that.
And it's sometimes people get very intimidated or like, well, it was just a little, it doesn't matter, or it's too loud.
Attention.
But then when you hear everybody go, oh my gosh, great job, then you get the bug of like the PR bell.
That's true.
You're like, yeah, I did it. And you want to hit it.
I'm going to start hitting it now more.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I really don't.
To someone's first pull-up, you deserve the same energy as someone's 300-pound clean.
That would be nice.
It's the same, like, you're doing hard things. And they're going to be different. We're all not going to get a pull-up the same day. We're all definitely not going to get a 300-pound clean the same day.
Not anytime soon.
So you got to, this is what CrossFit's all about. Day. So cheering for somebody. Again, I asked her now, if somebody's like, oh, they just said that they didn't like me cheering for them. Then, hey, man, that's not what they need today. You needed it. They didn't.
Respect the space.
That's what we got to do.
True. So true.
Right.
Don't be the equipment hoarder. I feel like, I'm trying to think of like, we don't really have this problem.
No.
The only problem we might probably have is maybe like having too many plates.
Tens. Not plates. Tens.
Tens are the big ones. I use that sometimes just because I'm lazy to bring them back and come back. But that's probably the only one I've seen probably for the most part. Other than that, I feel dumbbells and things people return and bring back.
Oh yeah, and I love when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm getting 15s," and like the person next to him is like, "Oh, you can take my 15s because I'm either going down to 10s or they go up to 20."
Saves me a
like
walk.
Hearing that, or when 4:30 and 5:30 are switching and they're like, "Hey, does anybody want this? So you don't have to carry it out here."
True.
And plus, that person doesn't want to carry it back. Things get sprayed off, but it's always good. Like, hearing that, like, oh yeah, I'll share my stuff. Like, I'm going to get that anyways. Or it's just nice. I have not seen people just like have
hoard equipment.
Be like, oh, I'm going to have a set of 10, a set of 15, a set of 20. Mm-hmm. I know in my class, I do have a return policy where I'm like, if you don't like the weight, you have a return time of, 2 minutes.
Right.
Or things like
You're
that.
Like, do it now.
Yep. Where I'm like, if you don't feel it, go return it. But I've never had somebody who heard that somebody needed the weight that they were just having just in case. We do have people who use just in case weight.
Yeah.
Again, if they heard somebody say, oh, where are the 10s? They were never ever like, oh, well, I'm using them. I've always heard like, you can have them. I'll be okay. Mm-hmm. Which pushes the person who wanted them just in case.
That's true.
I'm okay with the just in case.
That's fair.
But again, I don't know for other gyms. Our gyms, when people hear like, oh, there's no more set of 15s, whoever has an extra pair of 15s is like, you can have my 15s. I'll be fine. So I think it's just being respectful of others and realizing like, oh yeah, they were just in case. I'm now thinking about, I'm not going to use it. Mm-hmm. It's a pusher compared to like, I need all of it. Now the 10s on the other hand, I have an issue with. And there are people where I'm like, oh, 50 on each side, huh? Eesh. You got 5 10s on each side. You can change those out. And now we're out of 10s. And then, and when I know that people are running out of 10s is when they start using the 5s and doubling up the 5s. And I'm like, hey, go grab a 10. They're like, well, we're getting low on go grab a 10. I'm going to change some people's stuff out. I used to do it. Man. And I'd walk around when people are like, well, why did you say that? I used to do it too. And guess what? At the gym that I went to, they said the same thing to me. You have now graduated to 15s or now graduated to 25s. And you want the bigger weight on the inside anyways.
Yeah.
It's good. It's easier to count. It's just easier for balance. Like, that's what we do. And also, like, when Blake comes around and they're like, hey, can you count this? And I'm like, what kind of weight do you have in here? Oh, and it's just all kinds. And it is. You have to walk back. I understand. Yeah. But let's think about it. Now we're lifting heavier. Now we can do those things. Now our warm-up weight isn't just 5s. Now we can warm up with the 10s, take those off, and go grab 15s. Like, there's better ways to do things. It does take time. Newer people, and I know people have heard me say this, for me, you have a year. You got a year to learn all these ropes. And even then, you might not learn all of them. Yeah. But you have a year of me helping you.
True. That's a good, I would say that's a good amount of time.
Yeah. I'm always like, I'm here to help you for a year.
I like that.
After that, I'm going to help you just as a coach, not as a bestie.
Damn.
And we'll still work on that journey together. But yes, I believe everybody deserves at least
1 year's pretty good.
1 year of all the time, because I still get people like 6 months into their stuff. I still don't know what a clean is. And I'm just like, do you know how many times I had to go on YouTube when I first started?
Dude, yes.
And I would still get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Still. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, are you sure, coach? I was one of those people.
I would just look it up. I'd be like, what's this match?
We've all done it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here to be like, hey, remember, don't walk behind this. Don't do this. Try this.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So maybe you don't have to deal with it. Because I got yelled at a lot. And again, it wasn't like mean yelling. It was just more safety yelling or being like, hey, yeah, you don't do that. You can do it this way. It's easier.
True.
Because I did take time. I used to take all the 10s. I didn't use 10s I didn't start using 15s or 25s until I had been doing CrossFit for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Because I was just like, oh, 10s are easier to add.
Yeah.
And then, like, I tell some people, okay, well, 10 plus 10 with a 35-pound bar is always going to be 55. Now go get used to 15s. Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, oh, what do you have on here? Because you've done 15s for so long. Oh, I have 65. Now go get 25s. Mm-hmm. Like, you can start being like, now I know 2 25s are 85 with this bar.
True.
So it is. Math. It's a little bit easier when you look at it that way and you don't always use 10s.
That's so true.
But
I do like me some math.
And then again, and I hate to harp or not harp on our gym, but I hate to be like, well, our gym doesn't do that. We don't have too many people who do that either.
No. No.
No.
Because our gym knows gym etiquette.
Yes. Or Blake has just been like, really? That's how you're going to do it today?
You're pretty good on it. Yeah, you're pretty like, so
yeah, I'm
let's
like,
talk.
hey, hey, buddy.
No, yeah, you're really good
You can only have up to 3 10s on each side.
But I feel like I haven't seen it happen as often. Like,
and for me, it's mostly newer people, and then I explain why, and I'm just like, yeah, you don't need all the 10s. Like, you're here to be strong, right? Let's go get those strong weights on. Yeah. Or when they're like, hey, what's this? I'm like, I got you.
You do.
Or sometimes I'm like, I think you today, where I was like, what weight is this again in between?
I didn't
here?
even get it right either.
And
so.
I was like, girl, if you got 225s, you definitely doing 195, almost 205. And then when you're like,
what?
You're like, oh no, those are 15s. I was like, okay. Cause
now you're like recalculating.
Because I space it with my fingers too. And I was like, that's pretty thin to be a 25. But I do trust you guys first.
Oh man. But yeah, I feel like hoarding and all that is not really.
Yeah, we don't really have that. And
don't do it.
No, and it gets shut down really quick.
Yeah.
More like, hey, let's try it this way. I've never had somebody like in class or a class that I was taking at our gym to be like, yeah, you're stupid. Why are you doing it that way?
True.
Yeah. And no. I feel comfortable saying never. It's usually like a very warm welcome of like, hey, well, do you want to try it this way? This is calculations better, or we don't bring all the weights out here, because we have to share with others, but we can interchange.
True.
Like, it's always a nice, warm welcoming.
You guys do it very nicely.
Yeah. Ooh, this is my favorite. Coaching etiquette. Don't be the second coach.
Yeah. I'm like, I am not the second coach by choice.
And I know this might get people like a little bit upset, but it is like, let the coaches coach. Mm-hmm. There's times when I will like pinpoint somebody and be like, okay, they're going to demonstrate this. Mm-hmm. Because it's also nice to get the athletes that don't get the encouragement so much because they're veterans to also be like the demo.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of gets their ego. Like, yeah.
It's like, I know how to do it.
I know how to do this.
I do like it. It's
so
nice.
It does have the newer athletes going to them. And there's times when I would be like, oh yeah, this is what we do. But I'd always ask the coach, just to clarify, go ask so-and-so. So there is kind of like sometimes a gray line. Then when that line gets crossed of like, oh, well, they told me to do 85 because they're doing 85. I'm like, but did they say that? Because then I have to have a talk with you and a talk with them.
Yeah.
It's different also in a sense of, yes, we use the veterans for demos, or another coach comes in and is like, hey, do you need help with so-and-so? Or, hey, is it okay if I go talk to them about a cue? I love that. I think on one of the episodes, I was like, baby coach Blake didn't. She felt very like intimidated. I was like, I don't know anything. Are you just showing that I don't know anything? To where I'm like, oh yeah, you guys there's the coaching minds of all that and what the different amounts of years that our coaching staff has. Like, by all means, if you can say it a different way than I can and it actually clicks with them, by all means, do it. I do love hearing when they give the same cue. And I'm like, yeah, I did that cue. Yes. Or there's times when I've seen another coach be like, hey, can you help me with them? Because I'm not communicating correctly. But yeah, if you're over there saying, well, I think you should probably do this percentage. No, unbroken's, you don't have to do it unbroken. When you're stepping over the coaches are on the coach's toes.
Yeah.
Because you want to be a coach, and there's a different talk. I do know a lot of people do go to Joycey.
Yes.
And there's times when I was like, hey guys, like,
I'm always just because I'm like, you should ask them.
Yeah. So there's times when I've been in class and people come up to me and I know that
I still come up to you.
Yeah. But there'll be times where I'm like, hey, can you read the back of my shirt? And they're like, it doesn't say anything because I'm not coaching today.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything.
It doesn't, because
That's
we
so
wear
funny.
shirts that say coach when we're
That's
coaching.
so funny.
So people understand who's the coach. So there have been a couple times when they're like, hey, what should I do for the workout? I was like, well, I was just about to ask the coach that for me too. I didn't read the coach's
tomorrow in class.
I'm like, I didn't read the coach's notes.
Yeah.
Or I know what's good for me.
I came to be coached.
Yeah, there's times when I just need time off. But when I'm wearing the shirt, I'm like, please ask me all the questions, because there are times when, like, if we hear somebody say, oh, you should be doing, 75%. And I'm like, no, actually the workout says 50%. Because we have special coaches notes, we have special videos, we have things that talk about, what the stimulus is, what should be not exceeded, what is the red line in this workout, what do they actually need to get. And I know I had somebody today who was like, oh, my ego. And I was like, I know, I'm just the ego downer tonight. And I'm like, this is actually the stimulus, and you need to hold on to this instead of that. And you know what? They did it.
Did.
And I was like, you want to get better at this part, right? And that's what this is for.
Facts.
And it was so awesome to see it and be like, you did amazing. And I hope you feel that, because this is what it was meant for. This is exactly what it's meant for. We do get stuck on reading and being like, I need to do exactly what the board says. And we do have beginner, intermediate, sometimes intermediate too, but people still skip over that. And I'm like, no, if you can't do this, do this.
We want our ex, man.
I know everybody does,
want it so much.
but I loved when they were just like, my ego. And I was like, yeah,
At least they're honest.
I feel you. I love that part. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to be okay about it. I was like, hey, you're honest. And I'm glad that you're honest about
free
it.
therapy.
And then we have to go through like, but why are we here? What did you want out of this?
True.
You're not going to get better at this aspect if we don't take care of this one.
Truth.
So
true.
So I really love that. So also, if you're coaching and you're not the coach, you're taking that away from me, those happy moments where I'm like, yes, see, we're learning.
I get paid for this, don't worry.
And then it does confuse the newer members.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen before where they're like, oh, are they the coach? And I'm like, no, they're not. I am. I'm here to help you. You'll be fine. It does.
Yeah.
Remember who is, unless your coach is like completely not setting you up for success or safety, then I can see you questioning, but that's a totally different topic. That's a totally different gym vibe. That's a totally different aspect. CrossFit is very coach led. So that's why we don't want 5 different people in their coaching.
On the flow.
Yeah. And
that's
didn't go through certification. Don't really know. They just know because they've been doing it for years, but don't really, really know.
Right.
So there's just things to think about. They're or I tell people when they're like, thank you for putting my stuff away. It's like, well, I get paid for stuff. Might as well get paid for helping you.
Yeah, right. Let your money pay for itself.
Yeah. And then there's the difference of helping and overstepping. Like when we, again, use the people for demos, or when you do say like, hey, I think she said 65, but let's clarify it. That's whenever I've been in a class and people are questioning, I'll put my hand up and ask for everybody. If people don't want to ask, I'll be like, hey, can you clarify that again? I wasn't sorry. I was trying to pay attention and I wasn't. Blake again. I'm okay to throw myself under the bus for people at times, but I don't want to feel like, even if I'm a coach and I'm in a coach's class, overstepping of like, oh no, you should do that. Like I'll do it friendly wise, like, girl, you can do heavier. Compared to, oh, you're not hitting your 75. He said 75.
Yeah.
And your box needs to be this because it needs to be that. I don't like doing that. I also don't want to be that person. And nor should you. Yeah. You're in class. You're paying for a membership. You're paying for a coach.
True.
Now, if you're somewhere that it's not happening, then you need to look at that way. But again, that's completely different.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We just don't want to give advice if we don't know what it is. True. Another example is like if we're wearing belts and somebody's doing 20% and you're like, yeah, you should wear a belt.
That's true. That's another big one.
Yeah. And that's just because you're like, we wear belts for everything. No, belts are for totally different things. Or, you know, if we're trying to teach people a split jerk and you're just like, no, push jerk. She's, you know, just do it. If you don't like the split jerk, and we're trying to teach people the split jerk, you know, we don't want that. And there's times when I go, hey, they're doing something completely different because they're either working on mobility,
or they're
injured or things like that. Because I've had people do that too. Again, helping friends is okay, but don't hijack the class.
Yeah. I think that's the rule.
And it's different for like how we feel. Like, I am a very friendly, bubbly person with everybody. So sometimes people are like, oh yeah, she's my girl. Right. I'm like, yeah, I'm your girl, but I got a coach. So don't think I'm going to also, like, if you're my girl or the dude, like, we can, like, but, you know, like, talk before class, talk after class. I also invite those people in that I will expect more out of you in class.
True.
I have, like, that bubble of, like, I expect, if you are my friend, I expect you to have so much respect for people around you and for me, because I'm going to give you that respect.
True.
Yeah. Other than Joycey.
I do my best.
I call her out all the time.
She does. I do my best. That's why I said I do my best.
You did so good today.
I
like,
tried.
it was really, you and Billy Cliff with the back squats did really, like, for real. Like, each one of you had, like, a pinpoint today that I was just like, you got that part, you got so that
proud.
part. Yeah,
And
I was proud of myself.
That. You were like, oh my God.
And for you guys, because the cues, like, you guys were understanding them. So it was really nice to see as a coach. And then just as, like, I've seen all of you, even Cliff, grow. I've seen all of you grow. And just to see it in one class and that it was working, it was so amazing to see.
Aww.
I was just like, this is a fun class.
We're getting it. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this one, phone etiquette. There's some people who love to record, and I love that too. Personally, I wish I did that more with my workouts and posted them on the gram. But sometimes, you know, tripods, if they're located everywhere, they can be sometimes a nuisance or distract, or I think that's kind of like the biggest pain point for me is sometimes they can be a distraction, or sometimes I just feel bad that I walked across in front of someone's clip and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I've heard or have had people where that are just like, oh, I don't want to be recorded, or that's not something that I like, and kind of having to respect that as well and be like, oh, okay, I gotta, you know, make space for that. And I think that's where it gets kind of murky, because you don't know how someone's gonna feel about it. For the most part, I feel like if someone's doing a lot of recording, like you guys with the weightlifting, like you guys kind of claim your space and kind of allow for that. So I feel like I don't really experience that at all, if I'm honest. But I can see how for some people, if they're not really into that, like that can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, like for weightlifting, there's a lot of times, like if you don't understand a movement, to send a video to Chris and he can see what you're doing. Right. Or even for your self benefit of like, oh, I didn't feel this part, let me just see. And it's help. Very hard to watch yourself sometimes, especially ours is a little bit close up than doing a workout.
True.
But I know, and it was like 2 years ago when Instagram was already big, but like watching people work out and people doing voiceovers in a CrossFit class with other people, that was really big. There was a time when we had like 4 tripods, like people brought tripods and we had 4 of them. And then it just became so much to where like, there was one time like I stood in front of one and they're like, all I got was you. And I was like, sorry. Like I don't really pay attention to people's phones or things.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I didn't even know you had yours today until I saw myself and it wasn't recording. Okay. And I was like, there's a little, that's me.
I look good.
Yeah. Hello. But,
oh man.
And then, so, you know, about 2.5 years ago when that was going on, it was hard to like coach. It was hard for people who, again, don't want to be on camera, because then they'd be like, hey, I'm friends with them on the social media and I see myself and I don't like myself.
Right.
And again, that's a different journey for them that they have to go through. You putting it on or you not asking, You know, nowadays it's different. So we do have like a different-ish rule in the CrossFit thing. I know people do more of like the magnetic ones to where they can only see themselves. Or I have asked people like, hey, I'm going to put my phone right here and record this lift. Is it okay that it's on? So I have seen those things in that aspect growing. I don't know. I see tripods coming back because now they make them smaller. But again, if we have 6 tripods going, people are trying to lift, people are going to be walking in front of you. Like, you have to be okay with it, but it's also the courtesy of people around you.
Yeah.
And the courtesy of the coach.
I'm like, I personally don't mind being in people's videos.
It's okay. It just becomes like, also if, depending on where you put it, right? And now somebody's barbell hit it. And then there goes your phone. Maybe it did an
awful lift. I'm like, oh, how embarrassing.
And it's like spacing. If we have big classes, probably not a good idea, guys.
Yeah, that must be harder.
If we have small classes, I'm okay if you're like, can I record myself during this lift? So then I know this. But the workouts, like, I don't know. It just can be too much. But if it's just like down on the ground and you found a spot and
it's just showing me,
then you know that's okay. But the whole tripod thing, I think it just became way too much, and now it's not about that. Now we're just getting a workout for the Instagram.
Guilty.
Because if you get upset that somebody stood in front of it because they didn't pay attention to your phone.
Yeah, Blake.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, I'm so sorry I didn't pay attention.
You just see her face go.
Yeah, and now we're like, but now we're more worried about that than what we should be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like there's a time and place. If you do personal training, if you have a very, very small class, and I'm thinking 3 or less in a big gym, it's just hit or miss with the rules of gyms. So I would always ask the coach and be like, hey, is it okay that I record over here? And then I'd be like, yeah, as long as you don't have anybody next to you in the video, or you have to ask the person next to you.
It doesn't interrupt the class flow and everything that you're doing.
Like, when in doubt, go ask the coach. They're going to let you know. And don't be mad at them if they're like, no, I don't like cameras in my class because A, we have a big, huge class, or B, it's just not the time and place. Like, they're allowed to run their class the way they are. They're not calling you dumb. They're not saying, like, oh, no, Susan, that's a horrible idea. They're just saying, no, I like to run my class this way. So then people aren't worried.
Yeah.
And don't be mad if the coach is also like, yeah, you can do it, but you have to ask the person next to you if they're going to be in your camera, and the person next to you says no. They have a right to say no as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if they say no and they're mean about it and they're like, no, because that's stupid, then go to the other side of the gym. Go find Dan. Dan's probably going to be very nice about it.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's reading the room, but when in doubt, go ask your coach.
That's true. Love it.
So the open gym etiquette, to me, is kind of like the weightlifting gym. There's chaos, but respectful chaos in a sense, depending on how many people are in the open gym area or the weightlifting gym area.
Sometimes it's a lot.
Yeah, there can be. And it is. We share platforms. If there's a lot of us, we will share platforms.
Yeah, you guys are pretty good at that.
And
communicate. You guys are like, can I do this? Can I go over here? Can I do that?
And I'm more of like, wherever there's an open space, you just tell me.
Not too close, though.
Yeah,
or lifting heavy.
Or if I'm like, we take turns, because especially if you're sharing a platform, you got to take turns. And you go off of that. There's like the rule of not going at the same time as somebody. I think it depends who you're lifting with. I've lifted, like today, CJ was doing back squats on one platform and I was doing a lifting complex in another. And, we're both moms. We got things to do. Or if somebody has to work, people have to go places. So I'm like, hey, is it okay if I lift while you're doing a back squat? There's times when I've shared a platform because we have kind of longish platforms. So somebody would be doing a squat while I'm doing a lift. And I'm like, is it okay if I do this while you lift? While you squat? Yeah. Especially if it's not like my 1 rep, it's warm up sets, things like that.
Right.
We also have like people who are like, hey, don't sit behind me because I bail out in the back. or don't lift at the same time as me in the front because I bail out in the front.
I feel like that's also a golden rule. Like usually you wait for the other lifter to go first before you go, and you kind of take turns that way.
Yeah, you can take turns sometimes. If we have everybody, it takes a while, and you're like trying to figure out if somebody's okay if you go at the same time as them.
Good point.
So it's just asking. Just like asking the coach about the tripods. We always ask, like, is it okay if I go with you? Or whose turn is it? Can I go? Just be open about like, hey, I have to pick my kids up in an hour. So I might be moving. Yeah. I might be moving faster, but you also at the same time have to have that etiquette and can't take all the lifting time.
That's true.
And be like, oh, I'm going to go 3 times. You know, again, it's all about the respect of that you give to others is what you want.
I'm like, so many rules.
There is, but then you get a flow and you just watch, or you know, warm up sets we can go at the same time. There's just, you start to understand who you're lifting with.
That's true.
So
you start learning
it does.
each other's patterns
You do.
and things like that. That's
you
a
do.
Good point.
And whose bar that you can also go on, because sometimes we run out of bars. So whose bar can I do this lift on? Who can I do with this? So it's being open for that.
Flexibility.
It's very like you need to be flexible with it. You just need to find a spot, and I'm like, I'll find a spot anywhere.
Damn.
And if I don't, then I'll go later.
Yeah.
You know, you start to feel like, okay, there's too many people for me to focus. I'll go at this time, or you can look at it that way for open gym. But there are times when you're like, dang, this is when nobody came and now everybody's here. But it's fun to see people PR. Now, on the flip side of that, so that's weightlifting. We do have people who do their own programming and open gym in that area where they can have the weightlifting area or they can have the big gym area. One thing that's kind of hard is if you have everybody weightlifting and you need the lat pull bar down, like you have to go in there and be like, hey, I need this. And you have to figure out whose sets can you go in between. Then you're heading into the big gym. You have to make sure that you're not going when there's another class. Or if it's a small class, you can ask the coach and be like, hey, can I hang out on this side and do it? So you have to make sure that that's okay. I will say the open gym girls or peeps have it a little bit harder when it's super busy.
That's fair, yeah.
So
it's tough.
And then they figure out like, okay, don't come during that time, or maybe I'll switch my days.
Right, to make it work.
But
valid.
There's also music. Like some people like certain music. As long as there's music playing, I don't like silence. There are times like when I lift with Maggie or sometimes and we don't have music, but we're talking in between lifts and we're, doing that. Yeah. I really don't care. There was a time though, I think it was recent, that we had some slow jams on and I was like, I might say I can't lift
like the music today was a little slow, I thought.
My gosh. I was
in the weight room.
Oh yeah. Well, I had the cleaning playlist on, so it was like everything, and I was like, oh no. So I would have to go
relaxing.
I had to go over there, and when I was going to lift, like change it to different ones. But my consensus is if I told somebody else to pick the music, then that's their and that's
Respect
their vibe. I can bring a headphones in and put one in, and if somebody wants to talk to me,
that's probably what I would do at open gym.
Yeah, there's times when I do that, or it's just
the class one is pretty loud, but also I get it, like it should be.
Yeah. Again, cleaning up after yourself and respecting like the flow of open gym or what the class is. Just it's always like asking what's available, when can I go? And I know some people are like, oh, that sounds horrible. It is and it isn't. Like if somebody lifts, then that's my rest time.
Right.
And then it's my turn. If there's like 7 of us, then, if I'm on one end and they're all the way on the other end, then we could kind of lift at the same time.
Yeah, I like to do that. And it kind of helps me also stay accountable. And it's like a good cue for me. Like, okay, now I'm ready for my next lift.
Yeah.
At least that's how I use it.
I like it for that. Mm-hmm. Some people don't, and you got to find a different jam then for you guys. Oh. And that's okay. You know what you want, and you know what you like, and you know what you don't like. That doesn't mean that you need to force it on others. Fair. Just go a different time.
Fair.
And I'm going to say that's probably kind of hard when you're like, but I can only go this time. Then you got to put up with the people that are there. You know? Or figure out the days. Like, I know Friday mornings are busy for weightlifting.
That's crazy.
It's just Friday mornings, and then you have a kids class. It is.
And the evenings are so
busy.
dead.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
But then, do you like lifting by yourself? You can't have it all the ways.
True. So true.
There's some days, like today, I was so thankful CG was still here. So I lifted a little bit with her, and then I lifted a little bit by myself. If I don't know who's coming in, it's nice to have a little surprise when somebody comes in. They're like, oh, I'm lifting today. I'm like, yay.
Somebody.
Yeah. Or lifting while another class is going, like noon class. Sometimes I'll lift during that. That's nice too.
Yeah.
Then you get to see those people, and then
socialize. Still
have like Chris there for some cues if he's available, which is nice. So then I'm not lifting all alone, or I can just send him video. There's things that I like for myself. So it is really like open gym is finding out what you like for yourself.
True.
That's the whole reason to me that you sign up for personal training or for open gym.
Yeah, that's why I found out I like to work out with people and why I work out in classes.
It is. It's completely just
personal taste for sure. Funniest gym crimes. What is this?
Oh, I think it's just like how we feel about it.
Oh, have I had a gym crime? I'm trying to think of what I've experienced. I think for me, the top would be like the ghosting, like reps in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that drives me crazy. Like, when I'm like, I know for a fact you did not do 15 burpees because we started at the same time. And I am not at 15. And I consider myself an okay burpee person. So something's not adding up here.
So when I was an athlete at gyms, like,
me.
it would drive me nuts. And as a coach, like, when people come out to me, like, this happened, like, at a different gym. Well, I wasn't a coach then either. Anyways, they'd come up to me like, can you believe that they did that? And I was like, yeah, but what do you say to them?
Yeah, I don't think I would confront them about it. I would just be like, well, someone's not, making the best of their workout.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, wow, you went really fast.
If it was in competition or something, now we're talking. But if it's just a class, I'm like, you're only hurting yourself, man.
Yeah, and some people have to realize that. And as a coach, if anybody came up to me, I think that's what I would say is like, well, I mean, they might
maybe they scaled. I don't know. I don't want to assume
or
either.
I'm like, some people love the RX button, but when the open time comes, or if they do a competition, we're gonna see. So I know that you don't want to wait and see, but
that's a good point. Yeah.
Or you can come up to them and be like, hey, you want to be my partner? And you can see what's really going on. Because it's not my place to go up to somebody and be like, hey, did you really do that?
Or I would sometimes say like a snarky like comment, I guess, and be like, man, you were flying through those burpees. Like,
next time Tracy says a comment like that, I'm like, did you hear what she said to you? She gave you a compliment.
You know what that means if you listen to the podcast. I'm just kidding. I'd be like, wow, you were really flying through those burpees. How did you break them up? Yeah.
I saw you leaning for a long time.
Like, and then a monocle pops out, and I'm like, I knew it.
Colonel Mustard in the library.
554, not possible. It should be 555. Oh man,
no.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, it is. Like, there's times where I'm like, or when I'm like, oh, they don't put anything into sugar wads, so they're on their own journey, man.
That's true. That's a good point.
So it's just it's hard either way because you could complain, but what are you gonna do?
And then who cares? I mean, I guess it's on them at the end of the day too.
If you take like the board that seriously, which I know a lot of us do at times, but just
it's more for you.
Yeah, you gotta stay in your line and just be like, okay, I tell people more like, hey, use it as if we're gonna do this workout again or something similar, and you can look back and see what you did or your weight. Nowadays I tell people like, if you're not gonna log the workouts, at least log your lifts. Yeah, you have. That's all I care about. Because it will give you percentages and that will help both of us out. So if you don't care, you can write down your time and be like, that's what I did, take a picture of it. But if you don't want to put it in a sugar wad, that's your journey. Mm-hmm. You got to live.
The lifts do help a lot.
But the lifts, like, you guys got to do that.
It does help. It goes
because sometimes when people are like, what should I do? I'm like, well, we know that we need to do 80%. Well, what's my 80%? That's a good question. What is your sugar water? I don't put it in. So I'm building to a heavy today. Oh, there's so many flags. No,
it's going to take so much time to figure that out.
Or when they're like, what's an 8 out of 10? I don't know. That's for you. How are you feeling today? I'm good. How are you? No, not that way.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm glad that you're good, but how are you feeling? You know what?
I feel great. I'm excited for the weekend. I love that.
There's a couple that kind of get me and that I've been around. It's when we've been at competitions or been at other gyms and how people drop weights. I have a rule. This is a rule that was passed down, whether people use it or not. But if you have 10s on the bar, you cannot drop the bar.
Oh, yeah.
15s and above.
That is a big rule, that you guys really
I don't want people to break the 10s. And that's just for...
And we do have some that are...
That's my class. If you go to other classes and they have different rules, that's 10,
on them.
Yeah, 10 and below you can't. And that includes the barbell. Because I've seen people throw barbells. Yeah.
Like, whoosh.
Yeah. And that's just
my gosh,
at competitions or at different gyms or different people at those facilities.
We haven't,
I'm like, no. So that does like cringe me. And I do tell newer members like, hey, this is the rule. Are people going to forget? Yes.
Yeah,
but I try to reiterate it.
You do. Before class, you're like, don't forget, if you do 15s, you can drop. Anything less, don't.
Yep.
And
I even am like, that's 10 and below cannot drop. 15 and above, you can drop it. 10 below, guide it down.
No, you do. You do. You disclaim that for show. I bear witness.
Yeah, that's like
it took me a while to get that one too.
Oh, yeah. Tons of people do. So, like, if people are... I also, like, look at, like, what did they do? Or I'll go by and be like, hey, remember, you cannot drop that. Compared to, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because,
that's a nice way.
We're losing oxygen as we're working out. So, can we remember things?
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
No,
like, hey, just remember... That is the one where I'll be very calm.
Be a Sharon. I love it.
I think there's that one. The other one is that, and this was only me as an athlete. Sometimes as a coach, I remind people of this, but I would put my stuff down because I'm on the shorter end. So there's only so many bars on the rigs that I can touch.
Facts.
If you need a little box and I need a massive box, we got two different workouts. Now, I'll be the first to jump ship and be like, if you need me to move. But if I put my stuff down and you choose that spot after I put my stuff down, come in and I just had to use the bathroom really quick, and then I see you standing right next to my stuff, I'm like, oh, is this your spot too?
And I always look both sides. I'm like...
Yeah.
I'm like, did I not put my stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's happened to me any CrossFit
you know what
I've been
to. I'm just going to write on the whiteboard Joyce's rig and then an arrow.
Put it right there. Now, me as a coach, when I see that happen, I'm like, hey, they put their stuff down here. Or when we have bikes out or rowers, you guys will put your bags by you.
Or the water bottle behind it.
Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, I think so-and-so's there. Let me just double check with them. Hey, is this where your spot's at?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. And I try to guide you to a different spot.
Fair.
Because nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be like, hey, it's
an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. Or just like, oh, is that the rower you're at? Okay, good. There's times when I've done that where I've turned and then somebody's sitting on a rower. I didn't put my stuff down. And I've been like, oh, you got that rower. Sorry. I was going to get that rower. And then I'll go to another one. And in my head, I'm like, that came out completely wrong. Now they probably think I want their rower. And then during the whole workout, Blake's just like, great.
They hate me now.
Yes.
All right, guys. So at the end of the day, CrossFit gyms work because of the people inside them. Nobody cares if you're RXing every workout. Or if you make the environment miserable, just be encouraging, be respectful, make sure you clean your stuff up, and cheer loudly for people unless they've asked you not to. I think that's ultimately what makes this community special, is that we're all in it together and we're all sharing the same space and doing it as elegantly as possible.
Yeah, the best that we can, right? Because we're all coming from different walks of life. We're either coming from work to
we have
work.
Our days.
We're
yes, human.
We all have those days. I was talking to a member about that, where I'm like, even the coaches have days, and we're supposed to be happy, but we all have days. We all get bad news.
You can't be happy all the time.
No, it's a lot.
It could be exhausting.
I get home and I'm like, I'm tired.
I just want to frown for the rest of the
day.
Yeah.
Ugh, watch a horror movie.
Yeah. Be mad at the world. Yeah. Murder.
And on that murderous note, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Savagely Scaled. Again, you can hit those 5 stars on Spotify. Hit the follow button so you never
miss an episode.
Yes, thank you. My brain is gone.
It is.
Been here for almost 2 hours with this episode.
She's sick of me.
Make sure. No, I'm not.
I know you never will be.
Yeah, she gets sick of me. We know that is true because Blake overthinks everything. Yes.
We're not perfect.
Make sure you subscribe, follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your gym buddy that definitely leaves a sweat angel on the floor. Maybe do one next to them and see which one's better.
Kyla's like, why are you looking at me? I don't even work out.
Follow us on Instagram at Savagely Scaled, or leave us an email at savagelyscaled1@gmail.com. Remember, also, we're looking for affiliates. So if you think that your affiliate is the best and we should come visit it, we come out there, we take a class, we interview the members, and then we sit down with the owners to see what you guys are doing for the community and also what the community thinks about you. So again, if you'd like to be a part of that,
reach out.
DM us at Savagely Scaled or email us at savagelyscaled1@gmail.com while Joyce is doing her puzzle. Remember, though, don't be a Karen.
Be a Sharon.
And keep sharing. It does help, guys. And until
we meet
at the whiteboard again. Bye.